So the UK government just decided that no one in the world has the right to privacy, and that it doesn't matter which country you're in, they should have the right to access all your private iCloud data. Let's back up a little. In 2022, Apple introduced something called Advanced Data Protection, or ADP, which is an opt-in security upgrade that adds end-to-end encryption to iCloud backups, photos, notes, and other things in the Apple ecosystem, ensuring that only you can access your data, even if it's stored in the cloud. But then the UK government came knocking. Citing the Investigatory Powers Act from 2016, they demanded Apple build a backdoor for them. This was a secret order, never meant to be made public, but somehow it leaked. Thanks, probably Apple, for letting us know what's going on. People around the world were outraged, not just because this was a massive overreach into digital privacy, but because the order was global. The UK wasn't just demanding access to their citizens' data, but everyone's iCloud data from around the world. There is no known precedent for this kind of order in major democracies, and its application would mark a significant defeat in a decades-long battle to stop everyday tech being wielded as government weapons against their users. So how did Apple handle this decision? Well, first, we all learnt about the order. It's actually a criminal offence in the UK to reveal such demands from the government, so hats off to the whistleblower who leaked this information so that we could all stay informed. Who knows how many other orders were sent to other companies like Microsoft, Amazon, Google, etc. to build secret backdoors that we don't know about, and who knows if any of them simply complied. And then ultimately Apple said no to the backdoor, instead turning off ADP publicly for all UK users.
Apple is taking the unprecedented step of removing its highest level data security tool from customers in the UK.
If you're a new UK user, ADP is no longer an option. If you already had it enabled, you'll soon be asked to turn it off. So was this a good move or a bad move? On the one hand, they refused to do what they were ordered to do, which was to add a backdoor that would secretly compromise iCloud security and privacy without letting anyone know. Apple would have been barred from warning its users that its most advanced encryption no longer provided full security, which would have been horrendous. On the other hand, they opened the front door for user data in the UK, so the effective result is really bad news for the privacy of UK people. In my opinion, this is much better than a backdoor, because at least now people can make informed decisions about how they want to protect their data. So what now for UK users? Well, if you're privacy conscious, you'll want to get out of the Apple ecosystem, and probably any other ecosystem that you suspect might have been given similar backdoor orders. Luckily, there are countless of privacy-focused alternatives to Apple services that you can use. In this video, I'll explain which parts of Apple are no longer private in the UK due to ADP being disabled, and recommend alternatives for your backups, photos, documents, messaging, and more. The UK government is fishing for your private info. It's time to ramp up your protections. Let's start with specifics about what is no longer private in the Apple ecosystem. The removal of ADP means that things like iCloud backups, iCloud Drive, photos, and notes are no longer end-to-end encrypted. But it's important to know that some things in Apple's ecosystem were never end-to-end encrypted to begin with, like iCloud Mail, Contacts, and Calendar. We should probably replace all of these. Here are alternatives to 9 Apple services that we recommend you try instead, so your data stays securely in your hands. First, there's Safari Bookmarks. These were protected with end-to-end encryption under ADP, and now they're no longer protected. Let me repeat. Yes, your Safari bookmarks are now accessible to the UK government. Consider switching to a more private browser like Brave, which was built with privacy as a core principle. Unlike Safari, Brave does not store any record of your browsing history or bookmarks on its servers. Instead, all bookmarks remain locally on your device, ensuring that only you have access to them. Brave follows a strict no-logging policy, meaning that it does not collect or store personal browsing data. Next, your iCloud Drive is no longer private. Any documents or files you store there are now accessible to the UK government if you're in the UK. What are more private alternatives? Proton Drive, Crypt Drive, and Mega all offer strong end-to-end encryption. Alternatively, you can encrypt your files yourself with things like VeriCrypt or Cryptometer before uploading to non-private services like Dropbox or Google Drive. And if you prefer total control, consider self-hosting with Nextcloud or Synology. Next, what about your photos? The cloud storage platforms we already mentioned are also great for backing up photos. For example, I have my Proton Drive set to automatically back up my photos, so I never have to worry about manual uploads. Another solid privacy-focused option is Entei, an end-to-end encrypted photo and video storage service with automatic backups, album sharing, and multi-device sync. Unlike mainstream services, Entei organizes photos with local face and object tagging before encryption, making it easier to organize and search your photos without compromising privacy. What about Notes? Standard Notes offers end-to-end encryption with multi-device sync. Then there's Proton Drive Docs that allows secure, collaborative editing online. CryptPad also offers end-to-end encrypted collaborative docs. NotesNook is another platform that many people in the NBTV members chat have been raving about recently. I haven't tried it yet, but they seem to love it. And if you're just looking for local notes apps, you can try Joplin or Obsidian. All of these are significantly more private than mainstream services. What about reminder alternatives? There are plenty of privacy-focused reminder and task management apps that you can check out, and this functionality is also included in many of the notes alternatives that we already mentioned. CryptPad has Kanban boards for encrypted task management, Proton Docs has end-to-end encrypted collaborative to-do lists, and Joplin has locally encrypted tasks and reminders. Others you can take a look at include SimpleTask and tasks.org. These apps keep your daily routines safe from surveillance. Next, your voice memos are accessible to Apple and now the UK government if you have iCloud syncing enabled. To keep them private, you may want to turn off syncing so that they remain stored locally on your device. Those are some of the services that were previously protected by ADP but now are not, that you can swap out. But there are many Apple services that were never end-to-end encrypted to begin with. So we also recommend swapping out your email, contacts management, and calendar if you don't want these things accessible to Apple and any government who demands it. Let's start with email alternatives. Apple doesn't offer end-to-end encryption for email in any country. You might consider switching to a more secure email provider like Proton Mail or Tutor. Both offer end-to-end encryption by default for emails sent within their network, as well as zero-access encryption and password-protected email options for messages sent and received outside their network. This ensures that only you and your recipient can read your messages, not Apple, not your email provider, and not any governments. Next, Apple has access to all your contacts no matter where you are in the world. If you want more privacy, Proton Mail contacts and Tutor contacts offer end-to-end encryption for everything except email addresses, which remains unencrypted for compatibility with email services. While both Apple and Google access your contacts, moving to an operating system like Graphene OS for your phone means that you keep your contacts completely private on your device only, instead of automatically connecting them with the cloud. This is just one more reason why Graphene OS is a great choice for privacy-focused users. And finally, calendars. All your sensitive appointments, addresses of everywhere you go, birthdays, and map of your daily activities is fully accessible to Apple and whomever they give access to. Proton Calendar and Tutor Calendar are end-to-end encrypted, keeping all this private from even themselves. You can even import your entire Apple or Google Calendar directly into Proton with a single click. Definitely low-hanging fruit if you're looking for an easy privacy win. An important final note is that if you keep iCloud backup enabled without ADP turned on, basically your entire phone content is up for grabs. To keep your data private, we recommend either using ADP if you're in a country that permits it, turning off iCloud backups if you don't have ADP enabled, and replacing Apple services with more privacy-focused alternatives wherever you can. There are some truly great apps out there that respect you as a user. This also applies to message backups. If you're in the UK, your iMessages are still end-to-end encrypted, for now, but your backups are not, meaning if iCloud backup is enabled, copies of your iMessages are accessible to Apple and, by extension, the UK government. A better option is Signal Messenger, which provides end-to-end encryption by default. Unlike iMessage, Signal messages are never included in iCloud backups. They remain only on your device, ensuring that only you have access to your conversations. It's a good time to mention what Meredith Whittaker, president of Signal, said in response to this move from the UK government. Using technical capability notices to weaken encryption around the globe is a shocking move that will position the UK as a tech pariah rather than a tech leader. She's absolutely right. Apple's removal of advanced data protection in the UK is a stark reminder of the ongoing battle between government surveillance powers and individual privacy rights. Privacy is normal, and everyone has the right to a private space in their digital lives, free from government intrusion. We don't know what pressure Apple faced behind closed doors, but the result of this government demand is bad. People in the UK are now more vulnerable to government surveillance. Whether you're an activist, journalist, or simply someone who values privacy, your personal data is now exposed to a government that may demand access to it at any time. If you want to stay protected, now is the time to act. Moving your most sensitive data away from iCloud and other major providers being targeted and onto privacy-first alternatives will help ensure that your information stays in your hands, not the government's. NBTV is a project of the Ludlow Institute, a non-profit research and media institute that educates people about how to reclaim ownership of their digital lives. Help us shift culture around privacy. Visit ludlowinstitute.org/donate to support our mission. We also have a merch store if you want to support us in style. Here's a jingle for the end of the video. Don't give your data. I said data. I did. How do I even pronounce this word anymore?